Wow, YouTube. Tell me say on like my background. Hey, chat. I got the fucking green screen. Yeah, better content. We are step up the reaction videos them, you see me? Better content, man. Green screen active now. Anyways, go on YouTube. Welcome to another banger reaction video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and hit that post notification bell to get notified when I drop another banger reaction video. But anyways, shout out to 1090 Drake. We say SpotEmGottem get beat up in a prison for snitching. We're gonna jump into the review. So make us see what really are going.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on SpotEmGottem getting smashed by the Bloods in Florida State Prison. When it comes to sliding on ops, well, SpotEmGottem wasn't doing any of that, but they was definitely doing it to him. The rapper blew up with his 2020 song Beatbox that turned into a TikTok sensation. A year later, he got fired up in a Miami drive-by and luckily survived being shot 5 times. A year after that, his rap career would be shot down after it was exposed by yours truly that he snitched on his fellow gang member, YNR Mookie. YNR Mookie exited the apartment followed by Nehemiah Harden, who's more commonly known as Jacksonville rapper SpotEmGottem. Both men were detained as an officer conducted a search of the residence. In the bathroom, a 9mm Glock and 9mm Springfield XDS were found fully loaded, each equipped with an extended magazine and a round in the chamber. With the search of the apartment concluded, Mookie was read his Miranda rights and invoked his right to remain silent. So Mookie invoked his right to remain silent. He didn't want to say.
And that was 4 years ago. You see something what happened 4 years ago still I follow him. Or something when snitch pan 4 years ago make him get in a prison now, you know. That's crazy, bro. People don't forget that shit.
Nothing. SpotEmGottem was then read his Miranda rights and provided the following statement. Spotem said he arrived at the house at 9 p.m., stating he was sleeping on the couch when the police lights shined through the window. At that time, Spotem said Mookie began pacing in the living room saying, "Dang man, the crackers are here." Spotem asked Mookie why he was freaking out.
Bro, so why your friend get read his Miranda rights and the dog remains silent? So why you get read your Miranda rights and you start talking, bro? Come on, gang. All you have to do is to just stay silent, you know, until the lawyer forward. Your friend is not talking and you're talking, bro. Come on.
Out, and Spotem told officers Mookie just kept repeating, "Dang man, dang man." Spotem stated he then observed Mookie walk into his bedroom and then walk out with items in his hand and a t-shirt covering them. Officers asked Spotem if he had any guess to what Mookie was carrying in his t-shirt, and Spotem said, "A pole." So I mean, this is the thing, right? The police are asking what do they think he had, and you know, SpotEmGottem says guns. I mean, it's like you're basically putting the guns in your homie's hands. You know what I'm saying? You're literally confirming that they were his, and then they found them in the location that you told them they would be in. I asked Harden if he had to guess what Jackson was carrying in his shirt. Harden said a pole. I asked Harden if he had used the bathroom since he was at the residence tonight, and he stated he did early in the evening. Harden stated the toilet flushed properly, which made him believe there was nothing in the water tank of the toilet. Harden stated Jackson was the only one to enter the bathroom prior to police arrival. Remember, that's where they found the gun. So you basically told him your boy.
You tell the police everything, you know. Every little detail. Bro didn't even leave out anything, bro. He said everything. That's crazy, bro.
With SpotEm's reputation getting smoked online, Lil Durk would go as far as sending him back the $100,000 SpotEm paid for a feature. Considered a TikTok-driven one-hit wonder, none of his releases would exceed beatboxing views, and the music began to slow down. SpotEm was now making headlines for his arrests. A parking attendee was standing on business, telling SpotEm and his 4K entourage they need to pay the $80 parking fee. That's when the rapper pointed a gun with a green laser at him before telling him, "You know what it is," and fleeing the scene. SpotEm would also be arrested for trying to—
Bro, over $80 though, bro? Seriously? Over $80? That's crazy as hell, bro. You doing all that shit over $80, bro?
flee police on a jet ski, and again for a high-speed chase in a Corvette which crashed. Officers recovered a Glock with a switch and found SpotEm hiding in a shed.
Bro. This wildin', bro.
Fast forward to August 30th, 2024, SpotEm would be sentenced to 3 years, 8 months, and 19 days.
How you get 3 years for evading law enforcement, having a Glock with a switch, and just get 3 years? Bro, lucky as hell.
In Florida State Prison. The internet began speculating if SpotEm would last, knowing he stands a whopping 5'4", and truth be told, it seems like SpotEm was ready to find out. On September 20th, 2024,
they trimmed him. Bro, they got trimmed, bro. Shit. Look at bro. Looking like a fucking kindergartner. Bro, look like a middle school student with tattoos, with Photoshop tattoos.
SpotEm would enter the Florida Department of Corrections, and only 1 month later he DM'd me saying, "All my brothers murder. I put on for this shit. I'm G's with all the..."
Yo, bitch, I love trolling kid. Who your big homie? I know your little home. I know your little ass ain't got no 31. What the fuck is a 31? Anyways, all my brothers murder. Put on for this shit.
Homies, I got the blanket wrapped around me, and once my brother Mookie come home, all the fool-ass allegations gonna be over with. I see you, homie, though. So to translate, SpotEmGottem's been claiming sex, money, murder for years. He's always throwing up bees, whatever. And he's basically saying he's with all the bros. He's with all the bloods. He's good. They got the blanket around him, meaning he's welcome. And he's saying Y&R Mookie is gonna clear his name when he comes home, as if we all can't read the paperwork for ourselves. You know, Y&R Mookie, that was your boy. He can forgive you. But the paperwork is the paperwork, and you can't change that.
Yeah,
pictures would even make...
Fire snitch, and then see, Lil Durk sent back 100 bands, and that means Lil Durk don't want nothing to do with this guy, bro.
Their way to the blogs of SpotEm in cells, or in the bathroom showing not only was he in prison, but he was in general population. Unfortunately, the shit didn't last long. A Florida blogger slash TikToker from Madison County named DG Did It would post to Instagram a conversation with a current prisoner who not only witnessed SpotEm get smashed off the pound, he ordered the hit.
So what the situation was, okay, you know you got these rat allegations on you. You got that, you know that's blood, but he ended up getting in trouble because trying to bring him home money-wise, you feel me, trying to capitalize. So fool go to trying to be blood, so but before the got to the camp, the homies had already told him he can't be blood. So he tried to be west side, then he tried to be east side, then he tried to be Valentine. You feel me? He tried to jump to these different hoods, but had already stamped, you can't be blood. There's no rat, that's our laws. There's rules to this shit, you know? Valentine. You feel me? He tried to jump to these different hoods, but had already stamped, you can't be blood. There's no rat, that's our laws.
When you're rat, nobody not going in the court, bro. And they don't say I want a rat. They not gonna do that.
Rules to this shit, you get what I'm saying? Long story short, bring him home one-on-one, boom. The nigga who bring him home, we had a meeting with him, tell him that's a dub, he can't be homie. So he boot up on one of the homies, okay, the big, that poster brought him home, end up getting blowed, boom, the homie shoot him. Just out of disrespect that you trying to bring a rat home, so you really saying fuck blood, there ain't nothing bigger than this beat. So then a little fool go to talking Spotty about, you know, how he living on the streets, whatever, to one of the bros. But at the same time, being that you was stamped as a dub and you can't be blood and you allowed to bring you home anywhere, now you just show major disrespect to the nation. So we gave them boys like 24 hours to get them off the compound. And shit, it wasn't happening. Okay, boom, fool end up checking it in. I guess somebody ended up calling his old girl, so his old girl called up here, they put him in a box. So Lil Gangsta, I ain't gonna lie, Lil Gangsta signed a waiver saying he don't wanna leave the compound. You know, he wanna stay on the pound, so he signed the waiver saying that if anything happened to him, they're responsible, they let him back on the pound. So now me and the bros are looking like, my bad, but me and the bros looking like, that's a dub, fool got to go. So they ended up, Nation ended up stamping him as a plate. You feel me? So they ended up saying that he was a celebrity. So when a become a celebrity, meaning shoot on sight, you feel me? You get what I'm saying? So when the homies get called to perform, nobody couldn't catch him because he wouldn't leave the dorm. You get what I'm saying? And being the officers, they not green, so they got whiff for everything. So every time he moved, they was moving with him. So you know, me being who I am, you feel me? You know, I'm barking with the homies like, yo, y'all making us look bad, cause when it's a who that on the plane, if it's a plate, he got to get off the compound. Cause then guess what, that compound go to looking like they not standing on business. So long story short, it was orchestrated, put the play in what it was, so he ended up getting out of confinement. When he ended up getting out of confinement now, he got to go to pick up his property. So when he was going to get his property, they had already orchestrated the play like this the best time to get him, cause he don't go nowhere. So we thinking it's gonna be sweet, but everything moving funny on the compound, cause it's like they know what's up. So he had a lady, an older officer, follow him. Well, she wasn't following him, my bad. He was walking over there, and it's like, while we about to get him, you get what I'm saying? The lady just called him out the blue, like, hey, spot him. He turn around, he go holler at her. I'm like, damn, that looking funny, cause you know I'm not there to shoot. I'm really just there to make sure nothing gonna go wrong. So she walked back with him, but she put it like a little 20 feet gap between her and him, so it wasn't shit, it ain't nothing else to say. The homie pulled up on him, shot him in his face and his neck, bump, blowed him. He ran across the glass towards where the lady was, so she like, you feel me, what's going on? Like, what's going on? He wasn't saying that at first, so then she see the blood leaking. He pointed back talking about, oh, some same rat shit, oh, niggas over there. So I'm looking like, man, bitch, he pointed at me and my dog, like, you feel me? But the nigga who shot him already gone, you feel me? No face, no case, so like, it wasn't on camera, it was in a blind spot, so he ended up getting gone, you feel me? But yeah, that's the whole situation with him transferring, bro. And everywhere he land at, it's gonna be a problem, you know what I'm saying?
Now, SpotEmGottem, or at least someone using his page, would go as far as commenting on DG Did It's video saying cap. So I requested the paperwork, and it's far from cap. In Florida State Prison, there is no such thing as PC, otherwise known as protective custody. Instead, it has another name, PM, or protective management. Florida doesn't offer PC yards like California or other states. Instead, they just put you in confinement, send you to a different prison until you get stabbed again, or send you to a prison that offers protective management units, aka PC dorms. Well, on June 6, 2025, inmate Nehemiah Harden, aka SpotEmGottem, would have a protective management interview with an officer. SpotEm would complete a DC 6-112C, which is a witness statement form, but signed Section 3, a voluntary refusal to make a statement. The review would state SpotEm was at the property line when he was assaulted by an unknown inmate. the details would be redacted, and SpotEm would be placed in confinement pending protective management. So the story of SpotEm being attacked in the property line appears to be true. I'd also get a copy of the incident report stating the same thing. It would also say SpotEm would be known as a rapper and they recommend placing him in a PM unit. So while SpotEm allegedly signed a waiver thinking he was good in general population, he immediately got smashed off the pound and placed in a protective management before being transferred away. Now the way they did this was essentially perfect. Because when you get out of confinement, everybody knows you have to go to property. You have to go grab all your stuff that's basically been stored in there while you've been in confinement. And you don't have access to anything. You don't have a weapon, you don't have nothing. You go to property, then you go to the dorm, and you're brand new in the dorm, so you still gotta try to get something. They caught him at property, which means he must have been out of confinement for like an hour or something before they popped him. And it sounds like he got slashed. The way it was described, if he got hit with a lock, they would have said he got fired up. They said he got blowed. That's either stabbed or slashed. It would make sense. They hit him on the face, they hit him on the neck. He went running, they saw the blood. And you know, dude that did it obviously hauled ass, threw the weapon, whatever. But they knocked him off the pound ASAP. And the reason being was, if you pay attention to the story that was told, there was a blood who wanted SpotEm to be a blood so that he could extort him, so he could be cool with him for the money. And he brought him home in a one-on-one, meaning they got in a cell and most likely pretended to fight. And he was like, yeah, homie, you blood, just make sure that money comes through. So they popped the dude that did that made him a blood, and then they popped him just because. Now this whole situation is ironic, being how the internet was just up in flames about Boosie saying Kodak Black was PC in the feds. Young Thug would defend Kodak, saying he was smart for being PC. And well, this is a clear-cut example of what happens when you're no good on the yard and you decide to walk it. You either fire off and get yourself removed, or you fall victim. Now the Bloods have made it clear he's a plate as heard on the audio, meaning any compound he hits with Bloods, they are expected to remove him. But SpotEmGottem is clearly trying to stay ahead of the game.
But what more I know is, I still 3 years in the pun? I still 3 years in the pun, or you get sentenced more?
So he joined the Muslims, the one group that will accept any gang reject in Florida State Prison, defend them, protect them, etc. Honeycomb Brazy even spoke out on rappers debating PC, saying, hell nah, I ain't going to no PC. I don't give a damn if someone got a gun in the dorm. Boy, that's hard over there in PC. 23 hours a day on lockdown. You can't do nothing but be Muslim when you come home. Well, now SpotEmGottem is Abdul Latif, and he's been transferred to Moorhaven Correctional, a private prison that only houses medium, minimum, and community custody levels. Now, the highest custody level you can have in Florida State Prison in general population is closed custody. And the fact that they aren't even allowed there, I'd assume he's at a sweet private prison they deem safe enough for him, as he's no longer in confinement. SpotEmGottem's current release date is set for January 2nd, 2027.
So him have just a few months, also I still 3 years myself then. That means I come out early next year.
So basically he got popped, they transferred him, they put him somewhere sweet, private prison where they're gonna have the best canteen, and you know, they probably got ACs in that motherfucker. The private prisons are way different than the state prisons. And yeah, I mean, they flat out saying he's no good. The time that he DM'd me, he was probably confident because he was getting extorted by whoever. And then he hit another compound where they had morals, and they were like, nah, we're not letting that slide. We don't want the money. The money isn't good here. We're gonna pop dude that told you were blood, and then we're gonna pop you. And then we're gonna send word to wherever you go to get you popped repeatedly until you leave here or die here, essentially.
That's crazy as hell, bro. Over just snitching, bro. Why do you have to snitch, bro? Just hold a charge or just hold out? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, you know, one situation, you live a certain lifestyle, you know what come with the lifestyle. So, if you know what come with the lifestyle, why you are gonna say about the lifestyle, but when certain little fucker come, you do some little weird shit, bro. That's weird as hell, bro.